Unfortunately, today, equality in our society does not exist. Today, purposeful inequality based on gender, race, creed, nationality, age, and/or social class is a contrived behavior under the tutelage of fear disguised as privilege, which those enjoy and fight vehemently to maintain at the price of all the others. The have and have-nots is a contrived thing. It doesn't have to be that way. The well-being of nature and humans is served with grace, elegance, and sufficiency when human spirituality reveres the intrinsic value secreted in all parts of the life support system that sustains humanity as an inseparable part of nature. Today, material wealth is symbolized by the money chase, and that's what we chase. We're not competing for natural resources, we're competing for money. We use natural resources to gain that money, but the competition is money. Today, material wealth is symbolized by the money chase is placed above spirituality, nature, and human well-being. Despite the increasing social empowerment and environmental degradation, it exacts as a price for its self-centeredness. In wrapping this up, please understand that these dichotomies I read are what we need to relearn, not what we need to learn. The hunter-gatherers lived in the way that was sustainable for thousands of years. When I was in Malaysia, they were building a dam in Sarawak, which is one of the Federated States of Malaysia, which is on the old island of Borneo. To build that dam, they were displacing a tribe that had lived in the jungle sustainably for 40,000 years. When I was working in Egypt, I was part of that time with the Nubian people, beautiful culture. Their culture was wiped out when they closed the locks on the high dam at Aswan. How do you tell a whole people they don't count? How do you tell a whole culture it has no value? How can you live with yourself when you build a concrete structure to hold water and destroy sustainability that's been there for 40,000 years? What are we doing to ourselves? As I look around the world today, I see many people turning away from one another in a quiet desperation of fear, fostered no less than by our illustrious president and the current administration. But fear has been fostered by governments for years in order to control people. When I was working in Egypt, nationalism reigned. No child was allowed to be educated past the 6th grade because if they had education, they couldn't be controlled. Knowledge is power. Access to that knowledge is equality. We control one another by denying access. That's the major weapon. In some remote sense, I think people may be discovering that they're well and truly alone in the world, from birth to death and everywhere in between. We therefore need language to share. Through language, we know that we have value and that we exist. Without language, what do we do? If I can't write my name, do I exist? If I can't see it, do I know I'm a real person? Somebody who's illiterate, how do they feel? They can't get a bank account. They can't get a driver's license. They can't get a post office box. They can't read a letter from someone. I have a little sense of how they feel because I have dyslexia. I'm lost all the time. For me to navigate by car, if you want me here, you have to pick me up, or I may end up in the Northwest Territories at Yellowknife. It once took me 8 hours to find my way around Florida. I got there by accident where I was supposed to be. My wife draws a map in my hometown so I can find where I need to go, even if I've been there before. I have to have a tunnel to go there so many times I know where it is because I have absolutely no sense of direction. Now that, in a sense, is what it's like to be illiterate. We have handicaps, all of us of some kind, and if we learn the lesson from them, it's compassion for other people with handicaps. They're all different. So if we work together, I can help someone by being their hand, they can help me by being my voice, somebody else can help me by drawing a map. I remember my dad used to get lost going across country in the 40s, and the male ego, he refused to ask directions. Well, dyslexia gives you a certain amount of humility. I asked 3 people for directions. And I get there, but I always give myself some lost time. Sometimes I don't need it, and then I'm surprised.